Hey everyone, Margarita here. I want to do a quick video on a lot of the paperwork that I keep mentioning in the videos. As I mentioned several times, I have been drowning in nothing but paperwork for years on end. It has been ongoing since my injury, and I guess you could say part of the reason for that is because I am 100% self-employed. I have been since long before my injury. So I'm also the only one building and providing and running everything. So the fact that I generate 100% of my own income makes everything that much harder. But at the same time, if I had not already been self-employed prior to our injury, and at the time of the injury, if that was not going forward, what my form of income was supposed to be, again, we would not be alive. We would have been dead in 2019. So that is what saved our lives, essentially. But at the same time, there is just all of this paperwork backed up from the time of my injury going forward, and everything ends up coming to a deadline, and I end up having to drop what I'm doing and attend to the most urgent when it comes to the paperwork. And my mother's ongoing crimes are part of the reason for this. A lot of the paperwork that I deal with are due to the ongoing harassment from the agencies that she creates in the background, or she creates the problem by using those agencies and looks like she is nowhere in the vicinity, but she caused the entire situation to happen and she's long gone. That is part of some of the paperwork that I'm dealing with. My workers' comp situation, that is the reason I did not receive medical treatment right away, and the reason the injury became that much more extreme and there is more paperwork involved today is because she prevented treatment in an extreme medical emergency at the hospital several times over again. And so today, like what I've been working on for days, I've been sitting here printing for 3 days. My printer's been running nonstop. And it all does have to be in the mail by tomorrow. And there's about 8 places that this all has to go. A copy has to go to 8 different places of each set of paperwork. And I've been gathering this paperwork all year. I did fire my attorney earlier this year when he had the wrong idea about my injury. He downplayed it. He acted like I was not severely permanently injured, like I did not lose several years of my life, like I did not spend almost 200 grand out of pocket. He was just acting like none of that was real, and you could tell he just did not understand the extreme degree of the injury and the fact that I'm still in need of future treatment. So I went in there that day with the intention of firing him, and he actually resigned. So that works out better in the long run. And so since then, there's been several court dates. I have gone down there myself several times. But I am it is kind of coming down to the date where there may have to be a trial. And I do have quite a bit of the evidence. I've been the one in direct contact with my private insurance who's paid about $191,000 of their dollars toward my injury. And I have about $20,000 in co-pays and co-insurance that they owe me. And then there's the $165,000 I've spent out of pocket at the center that I'm owed back. Plus, I'm still in need of future treatment. I am about 50 to 100 grand away from where I need to be treatment-wise. And that's going to take about 12 to 24 months of every day, 5 days a week treatment, when that day does come. So when that day eventually comes where I get to continue treatment, my life is on hold for that time again, and then for a significant amount of time after, several months after, because once you're done treating, you want to stay in a sterile environment, not getting exposed to any toxins or gases or anything outside because of the brain tissue being open due to all of that treatment. And I figured this out because I've went quite a bit of time treating every day, and then I did have to taper off for a while and put treatment on a pause. And I have gone back, numerous times, so I understand how it works and what kind of needs to happen going forward to get me to where I need to be, where I'm in a more manageable place to try to move forward and build my life to some degree, because it has not been rebuilt anywhere near the manner in which I had things. Nor do I ever think that will be the case. I don't actually think it's ever going to be how it was. There are all of these modifications I've had to make along the way. And I do believe a lot of those modifications are permanent. But in order for me to continue to generate some steady income and to keep things, to keep my system on an even keel and to minimize the amount of symptoms that I have and the severity of the exposures and what's going on, I am in need of another 50 to 100 grand in treatment. So I just kind of want to do this video and show everybody the amount of paperwork I've been dealing with just on that case alone. There is more paperwork stacked up on my kitchen counter with about 5 to 10 other urgent matters. Some of them are more urgent than others, but there's about 5 to 10 other matters regarding paperwork. And here's some of that right here. Several folders full. Let's see. Right, here's one. There's that. There's this one. There's another over here. I believe there's one more. And there's a box with a stack. So there's all those. Oh, and there's a couple right here as well that just came yesterday. Now, the problem is, I do knock some of this stuff out, but the paperwork comes in quicker than I can address it. That is part of the problem. These are the stacks that I've been working on for days. And I've printed like over 3,000 pages in total. So all of those, each place, and those are, I still need to make copies of all those and type about 2 or 3 other documents, which will probably take me the rest of the night. And that stuff has to be added to the pack, and it's all got to be in a box ready to go to the mailbox, post office by morning. Basically, it has to be postmarked by tomorrow. And at the same time, I received a call from my bankruptcy attorney that I need to urgently get my other home sold. The problem is, I had moved everything out of it several months ago, and we were ready to sell it. And due to the bankruptcy itself, it took longer to get approval to begin to get it sold. And that held things up, and that put a damper on things and caused things to go sideways in the long run. Then the place that owns the land feels that they have the rights to own my property since I've not paid the lot rent. Well, I've not paid it because I moved my stuff out, and we intended on the property being sold immediately. So because it's been several months, I don't believe they've ever worked with somebody under Chapter 13 bankruptcy before. They probably don't deal with too many people on the level that I'm on in life, so they probably don't deal with too many people in that boat. But they did change the locks on me illegally, and their attorney refuses to return my attorney's calls, and so does their park manager, and I've reached out as well. And they're not really trying to contact us, so I'm basically going down there and breaking in, and I have done this in this past week to show somebody the place. And they were aware that I was there and what I was doing, so they did not say anything or do anything. So I'm assuming they know that they're in the wrong based on the email that I sent and based on the several phone calls they've received. But the reason I'm having to drop everything I'm doing and attend to this matter urgently is because now my realtors cannot be involved. They don't want to be involved because the realtor box was cut off the door. The realtor cannot show the place to people properly. There's no, we don't have a key. They won't make them give us a key, even though what they're doing is illegal. Now there's another issue. So in order for me to get the place sold, I got to drop what I'm doing, go down there, break into the place since I own it, and what they're doing is illegal, and I have all the proper paperwork, and then get it done my way. And that's kind of what what I'm forced to do, what I've been forced to do this past week, and I'm taking care of that tomorrow as well, and trying to do an open house and hopefully bring some people that may be interested in at least an offer or two or something, because I'm really just trying to get rid of the place. So that, fell on my lap urgently about a week ago. Had to address that. And then, as the deadline was coming toward this paperwork, I had to address that as well. And they are kind of about to run together. And I'm hoping to at least move forward with some type of offer for the home in the next couple days. If not, the bankruptcy attorney is going to have to file a motion with the bankruptcy court over these people violating the bankruptcy law because it's preventing me from being able to sell the place. So I can only put so much time into this. I'm going to give it a couple rounds of effort, and I've got a couple people on standby trying to help me take care of this matter as well. But I can only spend so much time on it because I have to attend to these other matters. And first and foremost, I still need treatment. Like I said, I'm still in need of another 50 to 100 grand in treatment. I deal with ongoing symptoms every day. And some of the things that I'm dealing with, some of the symptoms that I deal with are because I am constantly working on removing the overloaded carbon monoxide that's in my system from my system. I'm going about this many different ways. So every day I have to do certain things, and it does start to knock it loose. And if there's other exposures, between yesterday and today, that could create an additional problem and additional symptoms. So, when I do that, when I wake up, I basically do certain things when I wake up. I do a series of things, and then sometimes I can't get it under control. And sometimes I'm like real sick, sometimes I'm real nauseous, sometimes I have to lay down again, sometimes my head hurts real bad. Like, hopefully it doesn't get to that, because when it gets kind of to that degree, I can't really leave or move or do anything. And I do have to leave out of here tomorrow morning-ish. So I'm hoping that like everything just kind of flows for the next day or two and get everything rolling. But these symptoms, they're ongoing every day, all day. I deal with all of this paperwork, all of this mess, all of these things I'm dealing with. I deal with the symptoms at the same exact time. I'm juggling all these phone calls, these emails, and like I'm constantly juggling symptoms at the same time this is all going on. And I'm juggling more than a regular person who doesn't have an injury. And yeah, technically I'm retired. Yeah, technically I'm disabled. And I really can't it's because I'm working at my own pace on my own time. And a lot of the work I'm doing is in my own home. And I do have 100% control most of the time over like when I have to go somewhere or what I have to do when I leave here. Because I don't usually leave. Most of everything I'm doing is in my home. The work is on hold. The $100,000 in damage is on hold right now. I'm waiting on more money from the insurance company. So there's something else I'm juggling. That's other paperwork and appointments I'm juggling. Just waiting on one more word so I can kind of move things forward in that direction. But there's just so many things at once that have to be addressed. And all of these things going on tie back to my mother's crimes. These other things I have to attend to, like she's always constantly trying to get me arrested. She's constantly filing false court proceedings, false police reports. I finally have enough evidence to prove what I'm saying, and you can only go back like a certain time frame, to consider something like that, like up-to-date information or whatever. So that I've been working on all year. It's a constant process, everything I've been doing. And, I'm not going to, this chaos that I'm living in, it's never going to stop until she's apprehended, until somebody stops this crazy lady. She's just out of control with it. And it's never going to end. And I intend on putting a stop to it and clearing my name at the very least, because the way everyone's talking about me, the things they're saying about it is so far from my reality. It's not even funny. Like if one of these people were to even take a step into my life and look at what I actually deal with on the daily and how I'm forced to actually live, like people just don't realize, because most people don't see me when I'm real sick, or they don't see me juggling paperwork 24/7. They don't see those things. Those things are in my home. So if I'm that unwell, then I just don't ever come out of my home. And no one ever sees me. I'm not on social media. I was never on social media before. I briefly had an account for a little while, and it was due to the business that I had at the time. I had to create a personal one to get the business one. So it's there, kind of like just chilling. I don't really use it or anything, but, until I get these videos out, then I'll have some social media going. But until then, I'm not going to create those pages just yet. But, nobody sees me when I'm sick. Nobody sees me with my head burning, my brain's burning, and I have severe nausea, and I can't stand up, or my head's pounding, it's pushed against my brain in one spot, or, my heart's going really fast. Like, nobody even sees me when it's like that. So it's really hard for anyone to comprehend based on the way that I look when I'm trying to tell people that this is what I deal with. And it's ongoing chaos from the initial medical emergency. And because I'm the one running everything and building and providing, that, I'm the one responsible for all of those things. And, if one thing goes sideways, I don't have an option to go back and work for somebody else and provide future treatment for myself. I have to keep things running in the manner in which I've built them, or eventually I will lose my life, because I will never be able to work for somebody else again due to the amount of injuries that I've suffered from and the condition I'm forced to live with. Like, I'm lucky I'm able to produce any income at all. And if I were to get Social Security, it wouldn't be enough to cover anything. So, this is all like ongoing issues and whatnot. And I did have a lady working for me for about 1.5 years at one point, just after I went back after COVID. And prior to that, I had my older kids here as well. And, it's changed who's lived with me during the course of my injury now that it's been several years. So, you know, now the last 2 years or so, I've been like 100% responsible for everything within the household and everything that I'm running as well. So that was the only reason I managed to keep things going all that time during the extreme part of the injury. And, you know, coming out of the extreme part of it is because I had other people here, and now I do not. So it makes it a little harder to keep everything going. You know, if the toilet doesn't get cleaned, it doesn't get cleaned. If the dishes don't get done, they don't get done. Like, there's nothing I can do about it. All right, I'm gonna come back and do another one. Thanks, bye.